Now, you know, when I do 2 videos 2 days in a row, something must be up. I want to start off by saying I want to thank all the guys, my Patreon subscribers, who joined me for my first Patreon exclusive live stream. It was real cool. I didn't have too many guys. I think I had about 14, 15 guys that joined me. But it was real cool. That's only about 10% of my total Patreon subscribers. I got, I think, about 155, 156 Patreon subscribers. So I had about 14, 15 join me yesterday. But we had a great time, man. They said the video, most people gave the video quality thumbs up, the audio quality thumbs up. So that means moving forward that I'm going to do a lot more Patreon exclusive live streams. I told the guys yesterday I'm going to do an average of at least 2 per month. I'm going to do 1 Patreon exclusive live stream for my $5 subscribers and up, and another one for my $10 subscribers and up. I think the one yesterday was limited to my $10 subscribers and up. So, yeah. Here's why I wanted to do this video. This was an unplanned video. I didn't plan on doing a video today. But I received a message from one of my YouTube listeners, viewers. You know, I think I've gotten a few of these type of comments, but this one guy said, Alan, now, you know, I've been doing a lot of talking about all these Hollywood and media and business related and even some political related allegations and accusations of sexual harassment. And a lot of guys feel like I'm on the woman's side of things in this whole Me Too movement scandals. A lot of guys are under the impression I'm on the women's side and I'm against the men. Basically, like I'm being some sort of white knight for the women and a defender of radical feminists. Here's the thing. Here's what I will say, and I've said it before. In most of the cases that I've read about the men involved in these sexual allegations and accusations of sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, and even more so in some cases, groping and attempted rape or date rape, I don't defend these guys based on the allegations and accusations I've read. Now, I want to put out there that I have no way of confirming that all of these accusations and allegations are 100% valid. Now, in the case of guys like Louis C.K., he admitted he was guilty of everything he was accused of. And there's been a few other guys who've admitted that they were guilty, like Charlie Rose. He didn't try to deny anything that was said about him. Some of these guys, they haven't even tried to deny the allegations and accusations that have come their way. So that lets me know that for the most part they're guilty if they ain't trying to deny them. Because I know if somebody accused me of some shit that I knew was 100% not true, I would vehemently try to fight that shit. The one person I can think of, top of my head, well, there's 2 people. I can think of 2 people that have vehemently denied the allegations and accusations that have come their way. Dustin Hoffman, the famed actor, legendary actor. Dustin Hoffman, he has vehemently denied the allegations and accusations that have been thrown his way. And the TV actor, well, movie actor too, Jeremy Piven, who I actually met in person. I think I mentioned that in a previous video podcast. Jeremy Piven. He has vehemently denied the accusations and allegations that have come his way One said he groped a woman's tits and ass. Another accusation was that he forced a woman to watch him masturbate while he shot cum on her sweater. Yeah, on her sweater, neck, sweater, something like that. He vehemently denies the shit. So, but a lot of these guys, they're not denying it. So, I've never verbatim said that I defend or co-sign with all the women, or that I 100% believe all the women's accusations. What I've said is that based on the allegations and accusations I've heard, I don't defend the men. That's what I've said. I don't defend any of these men. Now here's what's interesting. And this is going to provoke me to confess something I've never confessed publicly. And for the most part, even that much privately. I think only like 3 or 4 people I know about this incident. Well, I'm going to talk about 2 incidents. One I have talked about before publicly. I talked about on at least 1 episode of my blog talk radio show. The other incident, this will be my first time talking about it publicly. But I had a guy write me, and he said something, I don't have his words in front of me, but it was essentially, he said, Alan, to your credit, you're a reasonably handsome guy. You seem like a guy who's handsome and verbally smooth with women and, you know, blah, 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 a confident guy, ladies' man type. So you probably, I can understand why you probably defending these women, because you probably don't know, you can't relate to how it feels to be falsely accused of some shit by a woman. You know, you say yourself you've always had your way with women, so you've probably never ever been falsely accused of something like sexual harassment or sexual misconduct by a woman. So you can't possibly, this guy said, you can't possibly know how that feels. Key phrase, he said, you can't possibly know how that feels. Well, I'm about to drop a big-ass bomb on your ass for making that comment. And that's why I'm doing 2 videos in a row, 2 days in a row, because I normally don't do videos 2 days in a row. I've done it a handful of times. Alan Roger Currie, your beloved YouTube personality and dating coach, has actually been terminated from a 9-to-5 job not once, but twice. Let me repeat that. I know some of you said, what? What? Are you serious? Alan Roger Currie has been terminated from a job at least twice because of false accusations and allegations by a woman. Twice. Yep. Twice. There's been 2 times I've literally lost a job because a woman falsely accused me of behavior that I didn't exhibit. Again, one of these 2 incidences I've talked about at least once before on a blog episode of my blog talk radio show. Another episode, this will be my first time ever publicly confessing this. So for this guy and any other guy out there who believes that a guy like Alan Roger Currie can't possibly know how it feels to be falsely accused, yeah, I do, because I have. Situation number 1. Situation number 1 happened when I was living in Los Angeles. I was working for a cellular phone company. I won't say their name, but I was working for a cellular phone company in Beverly Hills. And a Caucasian woman came into the retail shop looking for a phone. And I started talking to her, I went into sales mode trying to sell on the phone. And here's what actually happened. I'm going to tell you what actually happened, and then I'll tell you her version of how things went down. What happened was, while I was talking to her, one of my coworkers, inadvertently, my coworker wasn't supposed to do this, but we had codes for a person's credit rating. So it ranged anywhere, I want to say it ranged anywhere from a C1 to a C5. If you're a C5, that meant you had really, really good credit. Like really good credit. If you had a C1, that means your credit was horrible. And everything in between. And so it ranged from a C1 to a C5. Now, here's how it was supposed to work. If a client came into the retail store, and I say I was selling them on the phone, and they filled out an application to apply for cellular phone service, my coworker would run their credit, and then she would say, "Hey, Alan," and she would, gesture for me to come over, and she would whisper it to me. She would say, "Hey, Alan, this person is a C3. Hey, Alan, this person is a C2. Hey, Alan, this person is a C4. Hold on 1 second. So that, again, that's how it's supposed to work. On this particular day, my coworker, and I loved her to death. She was generally a cool sister. She yells it out. She says, "Alan, C2. She like yelled it to me. She said, "Alan, C2. And I just went, And at this moment, she looked at me. She said, "What does that mean?" And at first I went like, nothing. She said, "No, I can tell that was some kind of code for something." And then I went ahead and I was honest with her. I said, "Well, if you want to know the truth, she was giving me the results of her running your credit. And that means that your credit's, let's say questionable." And she said, "Wait a minute." Because it was like at least 3 or 4 of my other coworkers around. Like 2 of my male coworkers, they were sitting at this desk, and I had, I want to say 2 female coworkers that were kind of out on the floor, the retail floor. And she said, "So wait a minute, that means all your coworkers know that code and they know now that I have bad credit?" And I said, "Unfortunately, yeah, they know that." She said, "Well, that's fucked up," which to a certain extent it was fucked up. Because again, my coworker wasn't supposed to yell out that code like that. That was something she was supposed to tell me in my ear. So this woman stormed out. She just stormed out. Okay, that's what really happened. Okay? A few weeks later, my boss brings me in the office. He said, "Alan, I got to suspend you." I said, "Really? For what?" He said, "You've been accused of blatantly unprofessional conduct in the workplace." And I said, "About who?" And I thought he was going to mention one of my coworkers. He said, "You had a client, potential customer that came in here that has written a letter to our corporate office accusing you of blatantly unprofessional conduct." And I said, "Really?" I said, "What's her name?" And he said, "Well, technically you're not supposed to know that." But me and him were cool. So I kind of pressed him on it, and he kind of confidentially said, "Okay, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to show you the letter that she submitted." So he showed me the letter. I saw her name, and it jogged a memory. It took me, I didn't even remember her immediately, but after a few minutes, I remembered who this woman was. It was unbelievable the shit she said I said in that letter. If I didn't have any instance before that where I knew that women could lie on a motherfucker, then I knew that moment that women can lie on a motherfucker. I had never been, this was my first time being lied on in a work environment. I think I've probably been lied on in my personal life before, but I never had a woman in a work-related situation that just blatant. This chick, I would say if I had to divide her letter into thirds, I would say 1/3 of her letter was pretty much 100% truthful. Another third was kind of full of half-truths, stuff that was partially true and partially exaggerated or embellished, and the other third of it was just flat-out lies. That's how our letter was. It was 1/3 truth, 1/3 partial truth, partial lies, and 1/3 just blatant lies. Here's what she essentially said that I did. Because I remember this woman. Because during our conversation, I remember I was trying to upsell her, which most salesmen do. They try to upsell you to a more expensive. Like when I used to sell cellular phones, what was considered a upsell is if I sell you on the voicemail package, I think a pouch, and something else. It was 3 things that were considered part of our upsell package. The biggest thing was voicemail. That was a separate thing that a customer had to elect. Excuse me, Bert, number 1. They had to elect to get that. And at the time, I was the leader of upsells. I was the leader of cellular phone upsells in my office. And I would even make mention of that to some of my customers. I would say, you know, you need to go ahead and get this voicemail package. By the way, I'm the number 1 leader in, you know, selling voicemail packages. So I remember this woman, I joked with her about that. And she said, I have to call my girlfriend and see if it would be worth our while. And I said, run that by me again? And she said, I got to call my girlfriend. I said, oh, so you roll like that. Meaning that she was letting me know that she was either a lesbian or at least bisexual. Because she referred to this woman as her girlfriend, not just like my heterosexual female friend, but like my girlfriend, like they were dating. And she did actually, within the course of the conversation, she went on to tell me that she was a lesbian. Here's what she said in the letter, though. The most harshest thing she said, I said. She said that once she told me she was a lesbian, that I just went off on this homophobic, disparaging rant against gays and lesbians. Like I would ever do that in a professional workplace. She said I was like, oh, so you one of those, huh? You one of them lesbos, huh? You one of them dykes. Oh, fuck all y'all. Fuck all you faggots and dykes and lesbians. Fuck all y'all. Y'all gonna burn in hell. I hate all you gays and lesbians. You are the scum of the earth. All of y'all gonna burn in hell. She had me saying all kinds of crazy shit in this letter. She said I just like went the fuck off disparaging gays and lesbians. Then she said my final comment was, yeah, get your It's actually funny when I think about it. She said, I said, get your lesbian ass out my store with your low fucked up credit. That's what she actually said I said. She said I told her to get her lesbian ass out my store with her low fucked up credit. She actually had that shit in the letter, man. So, first I got suspended while they investigated. Now here's a key point that I might reference in just a few minutes later. Not my boss, but my boss's boss, like my kind of, I guess, district manager. He interviewed 3 of my coworkers and asked them what they observed during my interaction with this woman. And all 3 of my coworkers told me that they told my district manager, for the most part, it seemed to be friendly and lighthearted. up until the point that my other coworker yelled out that credit code. And then they did say that, you know, her body language changed after that, and then she left. That's what all three of them said. But yet, I still got terminated. I still got terminated. So here's where the juicy part comes in. And this is the part I kind of bragged about on one of my Blog Talk Radio episodes. I think we were talking about something on a Blog Talk Radio show to do with lawyers and litigation and that type of thing, where I'm going to kind of toot my horn here. Your boy, Alan Roger Currie, now this wasn't really a case, a legal case. I don't know, I can't speak for people who live outside the United States. I don't know how, if you people in other countries have like unemployment type procedures. And I know I have a lot of international listeners and viewers. But for those who live in the United States, if you've worked at most 9-to-5 jobs, you know about unemployment. Now, if you quit a job, you can't file for unemployment, period. So that's number one, if you didn't know that. If you quit a job, you can't file for unemployment. But if you get terminated from a job, particularly if you feel like you were terminated from a job unfairly, you can have grounds for filing for unemployment. If you either got laid off, like some companies will be forced to lay off their workers either temporarily or permanently. If you get laid off, you can file for unemployment. Or if you just flat out get fired, and for the most part you feel like your firing was unfair, you can file for unemployment. I filed for unemployment, and the cellular phone company, they challenged it, which I anticipated. I knew they were. Because, see, if they didn't challenge it, that would be like them admitting that they unfairly fired me. So they had to challenge it. They had to challenge it. Because, again, if they didn't challenge it, that would basically be like them admitting that we fired Alan Roger Currie unfairly. Yeah, I learned that from a friend years ago. He said, yeah, anytime you file for unemployment, he said most companies, they're going to try to challenge it, because if they don't, that's basically like them admitting that they fired you unfairly for reasons out of your control. Because that's the only way you can get unemployment. The only way you can successfully get unemployment if you've gotten fired is if you were either blatantly fired in an unfair manner, or at minimum, you were fired for reasons that they deem beyond your control. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say you get hired for a company, and they specifically say, Alan, don't ever wear a yellow shirt in this company. Don't ever. You can wear any other color shirt, but don't ever wear a yellow shirt. And let's say I'm hard-headed, so I wear a yellow shirt. And they give me a warning, and they say, hey, we told you not to wear any yellow shirt. And I say, oh, okay, I forgot. Then the second time I wear a yellow shirt. Then they say, okay, Alan, we told you not to wear a yellow shirt. You're suspended for the next 3 days for wearing a yellow shirt again. And I say, oh, okay. And then my stubborn ass wears a yellow shirt 3 times. And finally, they say on that third day, they say, okay, Alan, we first gave you a warning. Then we suspended you. My phone is bugging. We suspended you. And now because you wore it a third time after being warned and suspended, we now got to fire you. In that situation, if I was to try to file for unemployment, it would be denied. It would be denied. Because that would be considered a situation where I got fired for reasons. I hear a siren. One thing about where, as you know, a lot of you guys know, I recently moved from one location to another. And my new location, man, happens to be near a thoroughfare that has nothing but fire trucks that go by all the time, ambulances, because I live relatively close to a hospital, and to a lesser extent, police cars. So I hear like a siren like every other day. Is one of those three, particularly either a fire truck or ambulance. So in that little simple example I gave you, in that situation, I couldn't file for unemployment. Why? Because there would be reasons that I got fired for reasons that were within my control to prevent. Within my control to prevent. Now, using that same example, here would be a situation where I would be able to file for unemployment. Let's say they told me not to wear a yellow shirt. And I wore a yellow shirt, and they gave me a warning. They said, hey, don't wear a yellow shirt. We don't like our employees to wear yellow shirts. And then another day I wore like let's say a cream colored shirt. A shirt where it kind of sort of looks like a faded yellow, but it's not quite yellow. And let's say because of that kind of off-white cream colored shirt, they say, hey, Alan, we told you not to wear a yellow shirt, but you wore one again, so you fired. And I said, hey, this ain't yellow, this is cream. This is considered cream or beige. They said, no, that's a yellow shirt. You're fired. Now, see, in that second situation, I can file for unemployment, and 90 to 99% chance I'm going to win my unemployment case, because I'll be able to argue that, no, that second shirt they fired me for, that was not truly a yellow shirt. That was a cream-colored shirt. So they fired me unfairly. I had no idea that they were including beige and cream as in the same category as yellow. Therefore, I'm entitled to unemployment. Get it? Got it? Good. Okay? All right. So now you know how unemployment works in the United States, particularly if you're from another country. Now, going back to this cellular phone. Yeah, man, here's what happens in unemployment cases. If you file for unemployment and the company challenges, you have to essentially go to a hearing that's almost similar to like a litigation court case. It's very similar in the way it's set up and everything. Like they'll have this man or woman that will act as a judge. You can subpoena witnesses, similar to like a litigation case. Like you can call in witnesses. And the company is usually going to have, at minimum, just representatives from their human resources department. And at maximum, they'll have representatives from their human resources department plus 1, 2, or even 3 attorneys for their company, depending on how deep and profound the unemployment case is. So for this case, my direct boss was there. Or I should say my former direct boss, this district manager, the one who was actually responsible for my firing, who I didn't really care for, a member of human resources, and 2 attorneys from a company called Arthur Anderson. Some people in the United States, that name should ring a bell. They're a pretty reputable firm. Arthur and 2 attorneys, not one, let me point out, not 1, 2. Because I'm going to brag that I beat both of these motherfuckers. Yeah. So my official reason they listed for being fired, terminating me, was that I exhibited unprofessional conduct. I want to say they said I exhibited blatantly unprofessional conduct in the workplace. And I don't want to go into all the nitpicky details, but I subpoenaed my 2 male coworkers who were a witness to the interaction. And what I basically argued, I said, using my coworkers as witnesses, I said, if I was saying all this homophobic type stuff about gays and lesbians, wouldn't you all have witnessed her body language changing prior to the moment when our other coworker announced the credit response? Wouldn't you have noticed that? And they both said, yeah. I said, what was her body language up until the moment when our coworker announced the credit response? They said, oh, she was laughing, she was smiling, she was playfully hitting you on the shoulder like, like you so bad, and, you a trip. And they were like, yeah, she was generally friendly to her. I was like, thank you. And anyway, again, without getting into longer details, I won the case. I didn't get my job back, but at minimum, I was able to get unemployment benefits. I actually was going to pursue a profound, what's known as a wrongful termination lawsuit. Sometimes if you're wrongly fired from a company, you can pursue what's called a wrongful termination lawsuit. But what I found out from the attorneys I talked to is that generally the only way you can really have a good chance of winning a wrongful termination lawsuit is if two things. Is if you've been at a company for a long period of time, usually at least 18 months. I was only at this company about 6 months. And secondly, even more so if you got a contract. Like some companies, Bert, number 2. Some companies, when they hire you, if you hired at like a high level position, you actually have to sign an employment contract. Otherwise, I had what's known as an at-will employment. My employment was considered at will, which simply means that technically the company you work for can fire you for any reason they want to. They can fire you because they think you breathe too much. I mean, seriously. They can fire you for whatever the fuck they want to fire you for. When you have at-will employment, technically that means the company can fire you for whatever fucking reason they want to. But again, if a company does fire you for reasons that are considered beyond your control to prevent, that's when you can usually become eligible for unemployment. So that was incident number 1, where I had a woman lie on me. So for that guy and other people who said, Alan, you wouldn't be able to relate. He said, you can't possibly relate to how it feels to have a woman lie on you. You're wrong. That's incident number 1 where I'm going to say you're wrong. I had a woman lie on me. She put all kinds of words in my mouth. All kinds of words in my mouth. Particularly as it related to suggesting that I said all gays and lesbians will burn in hell. I don't think I've ever said that. Even in a private social setting, I've never said anything that homophobic before in my life. And definitely I would never say no shit like that in no professional setting. Who in their right mind would say some shit like that in a professional setting? Would tell a potential customer or client, oh, you faggots and lesbians are going to burn in hell. Here's the reality. This is me. I'm not going to say this as a fact. This is speculation. The district manager wanted to get rid of me. He didn't like me because what had happened was I confided in 2 of my coworkers. I basically told 2 of my coworkers, which was a mistake on my part. I basically told them that I was going to be quitting in the next few months because I was basically like, I didn't move out to Los Angeles to be no cellular phone salesman. I came out to Los Angeles to make it big in the entertainment industry. So I basically told my coworkers, I said, I ain't going to keep this job too long. And I think one of those 2 coworkers that I told that probably either told the district manager that directly or told somebody who told him. And he probably felt like, well, Alan going to quit on us anyway, so I'm going to find a way to get rid of his ass. But everybody was sad, man, when I got fired, man. Matter of fact, I'm still Facebook friends with 2 of my former coworkers from that company. So that's incident number 1 that Alan Roger Currie experienced, where a woman lied on me. So that should make you say, if anybody got a right to attack these women, it's Alan Roger Currie, because he knows how it feels to get lied on. I lost my job because of that. That's only one of 2 incidences. Now, this is the first incident, the one I just told you. I've actually talked about this before. The second incident, again, this would be my first time ever confessing this or acknowledging this publicly. I had a second incident that happened in the early to mid 2000s. I was working for a company. I don't want to say the name of the company. Closest I was coming to saying it was government related. And notifications I'm looking at. Yeah. See, now I'm having second thoughts. I don't know if I want to talk about it. Well, I'll go ahead and talk about it since I said I was going to talk about it. But again, yeah. Before this very video, I've only shared there's only about 4 people on planet. Well, one has already passed away, which was my mother. My mother knew about this incident. My brother knows about it, and 2 of my frat brothers know about this incident. Now everybody's gonna know because I'm about to say it publicly. The second incident. Yeah, but I had another job where this woman used to always flirt with me. And she knew about my Mole 1 ebook. And she would always ask me stories about my verbal seduction stories, like the ones I include in my book, Ooh, Say It Again. She was just like fascinated with my whole Mode 1 approach and my ability to get women in bed by talking dirty to them. So one day she comes in my office and she started asking me a whole bunch of questions about Mode 1 and me talking dirty to women and specifically a lot of my same day seduction stories. And so at the time I shut her down, but I finally said, okay, if you got time on your lunch hour, me and you take lunch hour at the same time, I'll share some juicy details with you so you'll have something to talk about with your girlfriends. She said, okay. So on our lunch hour, I started telling her some of the stories. Basically, I want to say I told her at least 1 or 2 of the stories you read about in Ooh, Say It Again, along with a few other stories that are not in Ooh, Say It Again. And she basically said, she said, Alan, I don't believe you getting all these women in bed just by the fact that you got great, talk dirty skills. She said, I know women. She said, you got a big dick, don't you? And I just started chuckling. I said, I ain't never had no complaints. She said, nah, you got a big dick, don't you? I said, modesty. One of my favorite lines I always like to say to people. I said, modesty prevents me from stating the obvious. So she said, I want to see it. That's literally what she said. She said, I want to see it. I said, maybe one day in the future. Now, honestly, I wasn't really attracted to this woman. That's why I used to resist most of her flirtation. Now, she did have a pretty nice body. She had a nice, I'm a kind of an ass man. She had a nice, juicy ass. But facially, she was nowhere near my type. I don't want to disparage her, but she just wasn't, she wasn't my type. I'll leave it at that. She wasn't my type. From the neck on up, she was not my type. But from the neck on down, she pretty much had it going on. And so she kept pressing me on it. So I said, fuck it, Who knows? Maybe within the next week or 2, I'll come over your crib or have you come over my crib. She said, no, I want to see it like now, like today. I said, damn, you horny bitch. I said, you fucking horny as fuck. You want to see daddy's dick that bad, huh? She said, yeah, I want to see daddy's dick. And I just looked at her. She looked at me. We kind of had this exchange of seductive stares. So then she said, I know a place where you can show it to me. It's pretty secluded. Matter of fact, I know some people who fooled around in this particular place. It was on the company's premises. It was like it looked like basically like a big furnace room, like the boiler room or something. It looked like the furnace room of the company. So she takes me to this like boiler room or furnace room. And I say, the only way I'm pulling my dick out is if you gonna suck it. And, at first she was like, you so bad, you so nasty, you nasty. I said, no, I'm serious. I ain't gonna just pull out my dick just to show it to you. I said, if I pull out my dick, you gotta suck it. She said, no, I don't want to get caught. No, I don't want to get caught. I said, I don't want to get caught just pulling my dick out. So we both kind of hesitated. She hesitated. She was like, Then she said, okay, fuck it. Let me see it. Now, before I go on, remember I told you guys, the ones who know about my LAX airport story, where even though I kind of lightheartedly talk about that story, I always throw in a disclaimer. I said that was actually a foolish decision on my part, because I almost got arrested, if you remember that full story. I almost got arrested that time I got my dick sucked in LAX airport. I almost got arrested for what's known as lewd behavior. You know, you can't get your dick sucked in a public venue like that. That's, if you get caught, that's technically considered lewd behavior. So I'm saying this to say that if you're thinking to yourself like right now, like, damn, I want to get my dick sucked while I'm at work, or damn, I want to get my dick sucked in the airport, Alan Roger Currie is telling you, no, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you, and I'm not saying it lightheartedly, don't do it. Matter of fact, I say stay away from your motherfucking coworkers. If you want to know the honest truth, just fucking stay away from them. If you're gonna be hard-headed about it, don't ever hit on your coworkers, colleagues, whatever, on work premises. Don't ever do it. And I said that in one of my books. Don't ever do it. If you're gonna hit on your coworkers, hit on them away from work premises. If you're gonna do it, generally I say don't even do it at all. So I'm throwing that in there. Now going back to the story. I unzip my pants. I don't pull it out. I actually tell her to come and pull it out. So she pulls out my dick. And she starts stroking it. Then she starts debating on whether or not she's going to suck it. She's like, oh, I want to suck it, but we might get caught. We might get caught. I said, you the one said this place was secluded. She said, I don't know. She's like, I'm scared I might get caught. I said, oh, come on, just give it at least a few licks. So she kneels her head down to suck my dick. I calmly put my hand on the back of her head, and you could say I fucked her mouth for a good, 30 to 60 seconds. And then she stops, because she was getting too paranoid about us getting caught. So she says, we'll have to continue this on our private time or whatever. I'm getting too paranoid. I'm scared somebody gonna walk in here and catch us. And I said, okay, I ain't fighting. I said, okay. So she put my dick back in my pants, and then we went our separate ways. I ain't think nothing about it. Guess what this dumb bitch does? And women tend to accuse men of kissing and telling. See, I did a whole show on this on Blog Talk Radio where I said women tend to kiss and tell at minimum just as much, if not more, than most men do. I kept my mouth quiet about the shit. I didn't tell nobody at the job what just happened. This bitch tells her girlfriend, one of her female coworkers, girl, Alan Roger Currie, he a trip. Yeah, he got all these seduction stories and stuff. Guess what? I almost sucked his dick here at work. He almost got me to a point where I was going to suck his dick here at work. She tells one of her girlfriends, who was cool with her female boss, or at least thought she was cool with her female boss, tells her female boss, hey, let's call her female boss Linda. She says, Linda, do you know Alan Roger Currie? And, our boss was like, yeah, I know Alan Roger Currie. He's a great guy. She said, oh, Alan Roger Currie is a trip. He got a way of talking to women, and he knows how to get women aroused just by talking to them. Matter of fact, my girlfriend, let's call her girlfriend Cheryl, the one who was going to suck my dick. She said, my girlfriend Cheryl? And the boss was like, yeah, I know Cheryl. She's like, yeah, Cheryl, he almost got her to suck his dick. And the boss became intrigued and said, oh, really? You mean here at work? And the girlfriend was like, yeah, here at work. Next thing I know, I'm called into an office, and they say, Alan, we want to ask you some questions. I say, okay. They say, did you pull out your penis here on work premises? Right when they asked me that question, I said, oh, shit. My heart just sunk. I was like, oh, shit. How the fuck did they know that? So I said, no. First, I ain't gonna lie, I lied. I said, absolutely not. They said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Absolutely not." They said, "Well, we have at least one of your female colleagues that says you pulled out your penis and attempted to force her to perform oral sex on you." I flipped. I said, "What? Are you serious?" I said, "What?" See, they said, "Yeah, that's what your female colleague said." So because I was angry that that's the story I heard, I said, "Okay, I'm going to come clean." And when I came clean, I basically told them everything I already told you about the blow by blow of what happened. And they were like, "Okay, well, some things are similar to what your female colleague said, but some details are different." And when it came down to this female, I guess after they came to her and asked her questions, she tried to change the story and make it seem like I tried to force her to suck my dick. Not like she was like willing to suck my dick. She tried to make it seem like she basically said that I took hold of her head and was like, "Bitch, suck my dick. You gonna suck my dick. Bitch, you gonna suck my dick." Yeah, she tried to make it seem like I forced her to suck my dick. Without getting into a longer story about it, here was the good news and the bad news. Well, I'll start with the bad news. Bad news, for the second time, I got terminated from a job. They terminated me. Now, first they suspended me. They suspended me for a week. Then, subsequent to the suspension, I got terminated for similar reasons the official reason was unprofessional conduct, and more specifically, lewd behavior on work premises. Lewd behavior on work premises. The same thing I could have been arrested for at LAX airport. You know, I told you there's a law against lewd behavior. The general reason was unprofessional conduct on work premises, and the more specific reason was lewd behavior on work premises. So the bad news was I got terminated. The good news, guess what? The woman who tried to lie on me, she got fired too. She got fucking fired too. As a matter of fact, I already talked about unemployment. Guess what? When I got fired, I filed for unemployment. The company didn't even try to challenge it. Remember I said how a lot of companies, they would try to challenge to make it look like they're not firing you unfairly? This second company that fired me, they didn't even try to challenge it. Nope, they didn't even try to challenge it. I filed for unemployment. I got it. The woman who tried to lie on me, who got fired also, she didn't get unemployment. She didn't get unemployment. So if there was a consolation prize in the whole second situation was the woman who falsely accused me got fired, and she on top of it, she didn't get unemployment like I did. I got unemployment from it. But here's the final story that you could also say that kind of semi-good news. And this is also going to be a warning to a lot of you men who work in companies and thinking about doing flirtatious shit with your coworkers and colleagues. Guess what helped me out? Now, if they would have went just on, I think if some of these women would have went just on the woman's version of what happened, I think at least half the women who heard about the story would have been tempted to believe her. Part of what saved me, man, in that so-called secluded boiler room, furnace room, whatever you want to call it, they had 2 or 3 security cameras. They had 2 or 3 security cameras that I had no idea, and obviously the woman I was with had no idea. They had security cameras. Matter of fact, I happen to be real cool with this brother who used to work in security. And he laid out some stuff to me that I'm going to pass on to you. Now, of course, it's going to range from company to company, corporation to corporation. But I'm going to give a lot of you guys a tip who are hard-headed about leaving your coworkers alone. Most companies have hidden security cameras that most of the employees don't know shit about. Don't know shit about. Trust me when I say this. Most companies, I ain't going to say all companies, But most companies and corporations, they have hidden security cameras that most of their employees don't know shit about. I'm going to take it a step further. You know what I found out? Do you know sometimes companies will hire men and women who you might think are just a regular coworker that actually work for their internal security department, and they walk around with little miniature cameras on their suit jacket or on their blouse. Didn't know that, did you? You know that now. Yeah, a lot of companies, man, they got hidden security cameras all over the motherfucking place. So here's one area you need to always look for. Anything near doors. That's what this guy told me when I worked for this company. He said almost at any type of entryway, doorway, they got some type of hidden. A lot of times they put it in the exit signs you see. There's some kind of hidden security camera. He said definitely anywhere around entryways, exitways, doorways, they got hidden cameras. And they have them in strategic, anywhere where there's money that's held like in a safe or something, they're going to have a security camera near it. Most companies and corporations, man, they got hidden cameras all over the motherfucking place. Even the places you think are secluded, trust me, 90% chance they ain't secluded. There's hidden cameras all over the motherfucking place. And if I didn't know that lesson before, after this second incident, that's when I learned that lesson. Because again, I was cool with a guy who worked in internal security. He was like, Alan, man, he told me two things. He said, number one, he said, Alan, man, I feel bad you lost your job. He said, you want to know the truth? I said, what? He said, they didn't want to fire you, man. I said, really? He said, no, they actually loved you as an employee. They didn't want to fire you. They were almost in a position where they almost were forced to fire you. They really just wanted to fire the chick, the woman who sucked your dick. They really just wanted to fire her alone. But the way that the circumstance was, they had to fire both of you all. But the reason why they didn't believe her side of the story, because we had it on our security camera video. We could tell that you didn't force her. He did joke about it. He said there was a moment where you kind of put your hand behind her head, which I did. But he said we could tell on the video camera that you didn't do it like in a forceful way, like you were trying to force her. It was, you just kind of very calmly laid your hand behind her head. But we could tell she was enthusiastically willing to stroke your dick and suck your dick. So we knew she was lying when she tried to say you was trying to force her to. And matter of fact, I want to say he said they could also read that. Now, they didn't have audio. He said most security cameras don't have audio. Some do, most don't. But he said we could actually read your lips, where we could tell you were reluctant to pull out your dick. And even more specifically, you didn't actually, and I told the people, when they said that I pulled out my penis, I didn't pull out my dick. She pulled it out. I do that a lot with women, actually. I think I said that one time on either a YouTube podcast. I know I used to say that on a few of my Blog Talk Radio podcasts. I said one of the ways, I think one time I was talking about date rape. I said one of the ways I try to prevent date rape charges is 90% of the time I don't pull out my own dick with women, man. I make them pull it out. I make women pull my dick out. I don't pull, believe it or not, I don't. Here and there I do. There's been instances where I do, but a lot of times, man, I make women pull out my dick. And in that situation specifically, I didn't pull out my own dick, man. I had her. She unzipped my pants and pulled out my dick. So how could I have forced her to suck my dick when she was the motherfucker who pulled it out? But anyway, man, that was a second incident of mine where I got falsely accused of some shit that led to the termination of my job. So both of those incidences that I described, one of them for the first time publicly, is my rebuttal to people who say, Alan, you can't relate to how it feels to be falsely accused of sexual harassment or sexual misconduct. You don't know, you can't relate to these guys who are criticizing these women who have all these false allegations. You know, you probably never, the one guy again, he said, you can't possibly know how it feels. You are wrong. Alan Roger Currie is telling you emphatically, I know how it feels to be falsely accused of some shit. I had it happen twice within roughly a 10-year period. I know how it feels to be falsely accused. Again, in incident number 1, now I've never been specifically accused of sexual harassment. That's never been a charge I've been accused of, is sexual harassment. In both of my incidences, I was accused of what's known as unprofessional conduct, unprofessional behavior in the workplace. Again, the first incident, specific thing I was accused of is making disparaging remarks about gays and lesbians, something I would never do, but I was accused of doing that, and it led to the termination of my job. But my consolation prize was that I defeated not one, but 2 high-powered attorneys. I defeated 2. My father, my late father, bless his heart, he actually wanted me to go to law school because of that. He was like, son, if you know how to defeat 2 attorneys, you need to be in law school. And I kind of chuckled. He was like, no, I'm serious. He said, you need to go to law school, man. You defeated 2 attorneys. A lot of my friends were impressed by that. Yeah, man, these were 2 high-ranking attorneys, man. I defeated them, man, and won my wrong. I didn't win, again, the bad news was I didn't get my job back, but I won the right to get my unemployment benefits. Yeah, because the company was trying to prevent me from getting my unemployment benefits in that first incident. And yeah, I defeated 2 attorneys in that the unemployment case. So yeah, and then to recap the second incident, yeah, I didn't get fired for sexual harassment. I got terminated for the general reason was unprofessional conduct on work premises, and the more specific reason was lewd behavior on work premises. And yeah, but my consolation prize in that second incident was I also got unemployment. The company didn't even challenge my unemployment in the second incident. And the woman who falsely accused me, tried to change the story, she got fired too. So it wasn't just me who lost my job. She got fired too. And she, from what I recall, she didn't even get unemployment. So to reiterate my warning to you guys, man, here's number 1. And I've already given you these warnings. If a woman is your subordinate, leave her the fuck alone. Don't even hit on a fucking woman. I don't care if she opens her blouse and shows you her tits. Leave her the fuck alone. Seriously, I'm not joking. Leave her the fuck alone. If she opens her legs in the office and says, damn, I am so horny, I want you to just lick this wet pussy. I want you to put your dick in my pussy. And it's on work premises, leave her the fuck alone. That's Alan Roger Currie's advice to you. Please quote me on that. That's my advice. Leave her the fuck alone if she's a subordinate of yours. Because ain't nothing good going to come out of that. Okay? If a woman's a subordinate of yours, don't do it. Now, I had one person in my comment section say, hey, Alan, I could have swore you told us about you fucked some of your personal assistants and they were subordinates of yours. I'm going to reiterate again. Those are different scenarios. Number 1, that's since I've been self-employed, not working for a 9-to-5 company. And number 2, the women I hired as my personal assistants, 2 things. I didn't hire them as employees. I hired them as independent contractors. And I told them to their face even before I hired them. I told them, I said, if I hire you, there's a greater than 50% chance I'm going to have at least one conversation with you that's going to leave your pussy dripping wet. And once that happens, I know I'm going to fuck you. I told them that ahead of time. These personal assistants that I ended up fucking. I told them ahead of time, even before I hired them. So that's a totally different scenario. But if you're working for a corporation company, man, if a woman is your subordinate, leave her the fuck alone. And even if a woman is your just simply a colleague or on the same level as you in terms of the status of their whatever capacity they work in, my first preference would be leave alone also. And if you want to be hard-headed about it, do not flirt with them or say anything sexually provocative or explicit to them on work premises. If you had a happy hour, oh no, I just thought about it. I got to take that back. I've always said, man, if you're going to fuck with a coworker, fuck with her away from work premises, like at somebody's house party or at a happy hour. But I was just talking to a good friend of mine who lives in Los Angeles. And we were talking about a lot of these sexual harassment allegations and accusations that's, shaking up Hollywood and media. And at one point in the conversation, she said, Alan, guess what I just found out? I said, what? She said, did you know that it's with a lot of these companies, she's talking about some Hollywood-related companies, entertainment industry-related companies. She said, I never knew this. Do you know, even if you exhibit sexual behavior, sexually flirtatious behavior towards women away from work premises, like say at the holiday Christmas party or something, they can still charge you with sexual harassment. I said, really? I said, I didn't know that. She said, yeah. She said, yeah. She named 3 or 4 companies. I don't recall what they were. I don't know if I want to name them if I did remember them, but she named 3 or 4 entertainment industry companies like TV studios, movie studios, that type of thing. Yeah, she said that even if you're like at some kind of semi-work function that's not actually on the main work premises, that might be on somewhere else, like again, like her example was like, say, a Christmas party, and you were to, say, start drinking alcohol at the Christmas party, you start hitting on one of your coworkers in a real sexually provocative manner, they can still charge you with sexual harassment. So you need to keep that in mind. I don't know how many different companies or corporations that applies to, because I've always told guys that it's okay to hit on your coworkers if you're on your own time, if it's not during your work hours and you're not on work premises. But based on what my friend recently told me, I don't know, so if I'm so sure, I would encourage that. The best rule, man, I used to have a hard and fast rule when I was in my 20s and most of the jobs I had. I used to have this rule. I've talked about it before. I used to simply say to myself and my coworkers, don't get laid where you get paid. Don't get laid where you get paid. Period. Don't get laid where you get paid. You might get lucky and have some situations where no drama comes from that, but I guarantee you there is a well over greater than 50% chance if you fuck one of your supervisors, one of your subordinates, or one of your coworkers, or even one of your business colleagues, business clients, at some point it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. At some point it's going to come back to bite you in the ass, man. It's going to come back to bite you in the ass, man. My recommendation in general is just don't do it, man. Don't do it. On a side note, man, I had one of my recent commenters in my comment section, a guy named Terrence. Remember I did my video called Face the Facts, Women Are Winning the Gender War? And I had at least a handful of guys, as well as a couple of podcast hosts, tried to say, no, they're not. Men are winning the gender war. I had one podcast host, he said, Alan, show me the evidence that women are winning, because men are winning. Okay, show me what prominent women have gotten fired from their job because they were sexually harassing a dude. I'll wait. Name a prominent female politician that got to resign from office because she was harassing a dude to suck his dick. I'll wait. Name a prominent actress or female studio executive or female media personality that had to either resign from her job or got suspended or fired from her job because she kept bugging a guy for his dick and that she wanted to suck it and sit on it and ride it. I'll wait. Yeah. Men are winning. Woo! Yeah, men are winning. We sure are, boy. We winning like a motherfucker. I think Marshall Falk tweeted that on Twitter today. He said men are winning the gender war. And then it was, after Marshall Falk tweeted that, it was retweeted by Ike Taylor and Heath Evans and Donovan McNabb. They retweeted Marshall Falk saying that men are winning the gender war. That's it for me, fellas. Marinate on everything I said. I'll come back later this week with another Patreon exclusive video. 99% chance this will be my last free video, but shit, I probably said that yesterday, and I came back right today. But I don't want to do like I did in November. In November, I did 8 free videos and only 2 Patreon exclusive videos. I can't have another month like that. So far this month, this is my 3rd free video this month, and I've done 2 Patreon exclusive videos this month. So anyway, take care. I'll talk to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, king. Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.